Afternoon, guys. Hope everybody's enjoying your weekend. I want to share some thoughts with y'all. I've been seeing a lot of things on social media about the Leiper fowl. And why were they called hatched since they wasn't hatched? They were of the Kearney breeding. And supposedly somebody put some roundhead in them or something. Well, then, I'm going to stipulate fact from opinion as far as I go. In order to answer that question, the basic answer to the question is it's because of the color, okay? But in order to go back, the whole thing is a lie. Because you go all the way back to Michael Kearney, which is the key player in this. Well, if you know the history of Michael Kearney and his son was Hermes B. Duray's feed hands. They worked on his farm for 15 years, 15 years. Okay? They got fired because Mr. Duray was in France taking care of his yards over there. He had set up some yards here in the States with a man named Madden that was one of his racehorse buddies. You got to understand, Mr. Duray was a rich man. He was extremely wealthy. And he associated with people that were extremely wealthy also. So he set up a deal with a racehorse man named Madden and had Kearney oversee it. Kearney was the top dog there, him and his boy, to breed some of the Duray chickens while Duray was in France and fight some mains. Well, Michael Kearney being a feed hand and not having real good knowledge, instead of writing a letter to Duray and asking permission to add blood, or what he would do is he went to Frank Cooley, because he was sure that Frank Cooley's yellow birchen fowl was the same fowl that Duray already had. They were already breeding. So he went to Frank Cooley and he got a cock. This cock was carrying Jap blood. He come home and he bred it into all the Duray fowl while Duray's in France without Duray knowing about it. When the fowl got old enough, they fought some mains before Duray ever got back. They lost. And Duray never had lost a main. So during this process, Duray's trying to get home. Duray gets home finally after they lose 5 mains. Duray never lost a main. Looks over the fowl, knows the fresh blood's been added, asks what's going on, found out he'd obtained a cock from Frank Cooley, which was carrying Jap blood, fired the Kearney clan, and sent all the chickens with him. They were his exact words, they were subpar and would not compete in the circles he ran with. Okay? So Michael Kearney left Duray's farm with 200 plus roosters and hens and no job. Okay? He said, take all the junk with you when you go, basically. That's what we'd say today. Yeah, it was probably not the exact words he used, but that's what he meant. Get them out of here. Because Duray had the real deal still in France. He didn't leave all the fowl, thank God, in Kearney's possession. It's my opinion. Now, this is not a fact. That was a fact. Everything I just told you was a fact. Now we're going to talk about my opinion. I don't have the Leiper fowl. I have McLean's. And I've said it for many years, ever since I obtained the McLean fowl, and love them. I love my McLean fowl. The McLean's I have are heavy. They have Jap blood in them. So, most of the Leipers that I've seen, it visibly shows Jap blood in them. Shows the monkey. I ran a pit in Louisiana. I got to ban many roosters. I got to referee many fights. I was in close with lots of people that own Leiper fowl. It's my opinion that the Leiper fowl is made from the fowl that came from Duray. Now, they may have something else in them also, but the junk fowl that Duray gave, which had the Jap in them, which will show you that strong peak comb, will give you that hatch color, it'll do all those things. Same way with the McLeans. I truly believe that the McLeans that I have, at least the bloodline I have, when they were made, there was some monkey somewhere in them, and I believe it's the same Jap. Now, this is all opinion. Okay, now we're going to go back to facts for a second. It's because of that color. It's the same way, the same thing has happened with the Leiper fowl that happened with the Duray fowl. Years and years ago, they still do today. They're doing it more today than they had for 50 years. But they refer to fowl as color. And I'm sitting here in front of a perfect example. That's a half gravedigger, half yellow birchin. He looks like a red quill. You see what I'm saying? A stranger would come up here and say, nice red quill. He ain't got a red quill in him, but they call him a red quill. Oh, he's no red quill. Same thing that happened with the very first yellow birchin hen that Duray got. See, Duray got his birchins and the brown reds. They were Harrisford bloodlines. And he got them from a peasant that smoked his ass with them. And he couldn't. But the very first hen was Hailstone. She had Sue Spangle, what they used to call Hailstone. So they referred to her as a white hackle because of that color. From that day on, a lot of people misconceive the Duray fowl as white hackle. They conceive the Madigan fowl as having white. See, because they all stepped down, it was the Duray fowl that come down through all these hands of Kelso, all that come from that Duray fowl. But everybody thinks they have white hackle in them. It's the same way with the Leiper. Everybody calls them a Leiper hatch because they look like a hatch chicken. They're green-legged, peacock, dark beak. Some of them carry the mascara around the eyes. That's all opinion. But I bet you I'm not far from the fact. Because you got everybody hollering Kearney. Well, Kearney got his ass fired from Duray because he put Jap blood in Duray's chickens while Duray was in France. Duray would come home and smoked his ass and told him to take the junk with him. Well, if you're unemployed, you got 200 roosters, you're probably going to spread a few around. He didn't have Duray's money, so therefore he was more on a budget. That's the reason he never was known for winning big mains on his own. The biggest mains he was ever part of was when he was in the employee of Duray, which Duray fought with the richest people in the world. Which ain't saying the chickens were better, but Duray thought they wasn't as good. And they wasn't as good because they lost 5 mains straight with them. And that was in the 1 1/4 blunt spur, which is a short hill. So there's where you go with you name. The reason I say they got monkey in them is because the way they stand. And the way they stand like monkeys. My McLeans do the same thing. They stand like monkeys. What first got me onto it wasn't even my readings. There was a buddy of mine, little young cat in this business here. He had me help him. I held his roosters for him one day at a cockpit. And he brought out a little rooster. He was black, green-legged, peacock. Stood straight up. I said, what is this little guy right here? I kind of like him. He's cute. He said, well, he's a half penny, what he called a penny. I believe the pennies today is carrying heavy in monkey too, by the way they stand. And he stood straight up. And when he turned the rooster loose after he was healed, the rooster fought just like a good McLean or good Leiper or whatever. He was on top in a way, smart, fancy, did all the things that monkey in him done. He said, well, he's half that black Jap and he's half penny. And he was probably the best rooster I ever seen this guy on, ever turned loose. And I got to looking, and as time went by and all my readings, and I said, look at him. This is what my McLeans are, and thinking back through memories of all them Leiper chickens I banded and wipes gals and refereed during the legal days. Them Leiper chickens have got that yeah, they got the Kearney blood in them. There's no doubt. But they got the blood in them that Duray gave to Kearney after Kearney burned them. That don't mean they're not great chickens. That don't mean they don't win as many fights as anything else. That's my opinion. And I bet I'm not far from it. Because they don't look, act, nothing like any of your traditional hatch chickens. And they're not hatch. So they come from the Kearney breeding. So Kearney, more than likely, he kept all that Duray fowl. He did. He liked them. He thought there wasn't nothing wrong with them. He's just going through a series of 5 mains in a row bad luck. Duray knew the difference. He knew they wasn't what he wanted, and they wasn't what he left it with. That's my opinion, and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, which is good. I hope you guys share it over to Facebook, because you're definitely going to get some extensive comments on this. What I'm saying is, the Leiper fowl, it's just a lie. It's because of the color that people call them hatch chickens. The same way that they've been calling everything that come red or spangled, yellow and white legs, whatever, they called it a white hackle. Same thing, it's just the color. But if you want to know my theory on what they exactly are, they are the Kearney fowl, but they're the Kearney fowl that Duray gave him, that he had ruined by adding the Jap blood. That explains everything. That's the best explanation. By the way they look, by the way they fight, by everything. Same way with the McLeans. I don't know exactly how they did the McLean chickens, what McLean did, but I'm going to bet you if you dug in enough, I bet you he rubbed shoulders with old Kearney somewhere along the way. And got some of that same damn ruined Jap Duray blood and made him some green-legged chickens that can rock and roll, because I love my McLeans. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. God bless y'all. If you like it, subscribe, share it, all that good stuff. Like I said, though, right there's a perfect example standing right there in front of us. Hey, ain't been a red quill around since the 1800s. People look at that stag, oh boy, that's a pretty red quill stag. That stag's half gray digger and half yellow birch. It's a color. And that's the reason they refer to the Leiper chickens as hatch chickens. And hell, I probably call them a hatch too. Probably have before, probably will again. Just because the color of them. That's the reason people do that. Anyway, guys, that answers your question. God bless. Y'all have a great day. Be sure to share this over to social media. I love watching people's heads explode when they get pissed. Thank you.